Welcome to 444 Empath Tarot. Take a deep breath and relax.
Hi guys, Jen here. I'm going to go ahead and do a collective reading. We're going to go ahead and take it back to basics and do a Celtic cross. So we can really get specific here with certain energies. So this is a general message. If it resonates with you, if it's something that you feel is tied to your current situation, then take it. If it's not and you have no alignment to it, you weren't thinking about it, then I definitely don't want to plant any seeds of doubt or even false hope. So unless my messages resonate in a way that you feel like, yeah, this is definitely, what's going on, then yeah, absolutely take it. So let's go ahead and see here what we have. Spirit, go ahead and protect this energy from any trickster energies, only for the listener's highest and greatest good. We're going to go ahead and see here. I'm going to give it one more quick shuffle. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab your overall energy here. We have the Knight of Swords. Nice. That is bold energy. This is air energy. It's fast acting. It's ambitious. It's going after, whatever it needs to with a lot of strength, with a lot of determination too, and a lot of force, because he's literally forcing that horse forward. It's like, let's go, let's take charge. I see a sword here, so it could be taking charge towards some sort of clarity here, potentially seeking some truth. But let's see what's in the near past. Nine of Wands in reverse. Okay, so this is about setting boundaries, right? And prioritizing, also resting, because upright, the Nine of Wands is about resilience and persistence and kind of, deciding, do I move forward with this? So in reverse, it's about actually kind of resting. It can also be about, because right after the 9 comes the 10, right? And when I think of the 10 of Wands, by the time he reaches the 10, yeah, it's a completion, but he's burnt out. He's probably needed to delegate tasks a long time ago. He still has responsibilities, because that image, he's coming home with a lot of wands. He's very tired. So some of you could be having to set some boundaries here. So what you should focus on, Queen of Swords. Nice. This is about independent energy. Truthful. I feel like I'm reading for some air signs here, because we got 2 airs already, or at the very least, there's some truth that needs to be spoken. She cuts like a knife, right? The Queen of Swords, she literally speaks from her throne. If she needs to get up, she will, but she doesn't really need to with that sword. She's going to tell it how it is. Again, this is air energy, so Libra, Aquarius, Gemini energy. The near future, Hierophant in reverse. Okay, some of you may be challenging some beliefs here. I'm going to throw it out there. Some of you could be severing a marriage. I don't know. With the Queen of Swords kind of looking at the Hierophant, I kind of feel like this has to do with, again, beliefs, morals, traditions. For some of you, if you're seeking advice from someone, this could be trying to seek the truth. You're literally challenging the status quo. Anytime I see the Hierophant, I think of the rebellion. I think of the person who grew up and they were, taught this. They were like, here's your religion, here's your name, here's, the status quo that you literally have to kind of adapt to, right? It's not really theirs, but this is questioning. This can also be an awakening. I see a lot of truth seeking here. So that's what, that's coming in your near future. Now your challenge, Temperance in reverse, the need for moderation, the need to take things one step at a time without rushing. Upright, the Temperance is pouring into her cups and she's literally taking her time. But this has to do with excess sometimes. This can also have to do with being impatient And I do see it here with the Knight of Swords. He's very forceful. Usually I don't get that, but I see it with almost like he's forcing that horse, right? He's forcing that horse. So let's see, that's your challenge, needing to have patience here. Now, what's your strength? High Priestess. Beautiful. Beautiful, because the High Priestess, she observes. She doesn't speak, but she knows a lot. She watches everything from a fair point of view. If you notice the pillars, the two pillars and the B and the J, she's very, very intuitive. So that's going to be your strength here. You know, even though there is a need to kind of pace yourself, I see here that there's some truth seeking here. Could be in regards to, again, some beliefs. I see some rebellious energy here. This could have to do with a marriage or institution, but I feel like your strength, for some of you, your strength is being intuitive. Your strength is almost knowing without speaking, knowing without saying too much, right? So what's the external environment? What's going on around you? Eight of Pentacles. Okay, this could have to do in the workplace, or this could have to do, this speaks of having to work hard on something. Eight of Pentacles, he's literally crafting and he's mastering. This is mastery and a lot of hard work. He literally has 2 more pentacles before he's done. He's literally working on the 7th one, and then he has 1 more left. So right now, the external, the environment, this could have to do with the workplace here, or it could have to do with mastering something or working on some sort of craft. Let's see the hopes and fears. Some of you, your fear is that there's some deception, there's some trickery energy here, or that can be the fears, and the hopes is that whatever this is, you're able to execute it strategically, because sometimes the 7 of Swords speaks about strategy. So it can go both ways. Either this is a situation where it seems tricky, it seems like you may be dealing with some tricky individuals. I do see 2 court cards here. Man, this speaks of marriage. Now this can be you know, with the Hierophant in reverse, it can speak of divorce, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a divorce of a marriage. It can be the end of a contract regarding a friendship, family, a job even. I see like there's some truth. You're calling out some truth here, and you might know some things. And like I said, the hopes and the fears, the 7 of Swords here, you might be worried about maybe some, you know, deceptions going on behind the scenes. So what's the potential outcome here? There you go, 5 of Wands. I'm sorry, 5 of Swords. A lot of swords here. I might have a lot of air signs watching. 5 of Swords. You know, this can have to do with this being the potential outcome here. There could be still some conflict. I feel like for some of you, it's giving like whistleblowing energy, or you're saying something, or you're speaking up on a specific topic, or you have information that no one else wants to talk about. Because you see how the 7 of Swords, the individual is literally eyeing or facing the 5 of Swords. It's almost like you're going up against some sort of trickery energy. Now, this can be an environment, this can be a person even, where you're literally challenging the status quo here. Again, this can be at work. This can even have to do with family dynamics, where you're challenging that. You probably seen things, you probably know a lot, you're probably not saying anything, and you're probably like, I don't know if I should let the cat out of the bag here. I should probably number one, have some patience with this information, and also kind of temper it a little bit. You don't want it to come out one way. That's what I'm getting here. It's almost like somebody watching has some sort of information here. This is giving like whistleblowing. This is giving, even if you're the black sheep of the family and you've sat back and you've watched a lot of things go on here. So what's your advice? Knight of Wands. I think with the Knight of Wands being your advice, it speaks about approaching this in a more you know, he's not as fast as the Knight of Swords. And it's funny how you started it with the Knight of Swords and you're ending it with the Knight of Wands. This is hasty energy, right? This is hastiness. He's very, very like determined. He's even angry here. Knight of Wands is a little bit more tempered here. It's fire energy, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy. He comes with more fire, more passion. I'm even getting more, you know, it's not coming from a place of anger. This is something that you're really passionate about. You know, this is not something that you are, you know, embodying in a state of bitterness or anger. It's like, I thought well and hard about this. This can have to do also with something from the past, because the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands is looking left, which is kind of like my past energy. It is also about action too. Let's see here. And then you have the Queen of Swords. So I think what Spirit wants you to do is channel the way you communicate needs to be very truthful, because this is what you should focus on. The Queen of Swords, that's the energy, being truthful. And then the advice is the Knight of Wands. So if you incorporate those two, being very truthful, being very straightforward, and also being passionate about what you have to say or what you have to do, I think is pretty much key here. But you know, pulling from your strength on the High Priestess, being very intuitive, only speaking when you really need to is also key too. So kind of incorporating everything all together. So that's what I have for you. Let me go ahead and pull an Akashic record. I think it's appropriate for an Akashic record here. Let's see what final messages we have here for an Akashic record. Oracle. Funny. Patience. Patience, okay? You're being asked to practice patience right now. It's not easy to do this, but you're strong, and there's a reason why things aren't aligning in the way you want them to in this moment. Have patience. It would eventually work out. What did I definitely got that with the Knight of Swords and the Temperance in reverse. There needs to be patience here with whatever situation this is, okay? So if those messages resonate, if they make any sense to you at all, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, take care.